Okay, welcome back to the Rising of the Shield Hero anime review, episode number 6. Yeah, I know it's been a couple years since the last one, and I'm bringing it back because we have the start of a brand new season. That, from what I've heard, they did confirm that this particular season is going to be 13 episodes. Before I check with the episode itself, here's a fun fact for you. The only reason why the season exists is because Crunchyroll asked for it. Yep, that's the reason why. Because apparently, excuse me, this is kind of weird when it comes to this particular anime. Where in Japan, it didn't do too well. But when it came over here, it went over like crazy. From what I heard. And, well, we got seasons 2 and 3 greenlit for the series. And here we are. Second season of the series. Airing, well, as of today, like it had been almost 3 years since the end of the last season. Now, the events of the books themselves are different from how they're presented in the anime. For instance, Nafumi's got a village that he runs. That's what it is in the anime. In the books, he does not get the village to book 10. And it was given to him by, well, his, let's say it was given to him by a princess who's currently the queen of the country. Well, it was given by somebody else, mind you. Yes, my only guess is the reason why the studio who makes this series did that, because I don't think they even knew that we're going to have a season 2. Now, we actually started the village at the start of the episode. Now, this episode, along with the very next one, is adapting the Spirit Tortoise arc, which takes up 2 books, books 6 and 7. And you might think, okay, how far have I read the light novels? I've read all 22 books. Yes, for some reason, I'm not really sure why this is. By the way, the episode's called New Roar. It's 26 episodes of the anime. Now, have I read Reprise of Shield Hero? Spear Hero, excuse me? Nope, never read it. The Rise of Shield Hero, surprisingly, is only 22 books. And I was right, the fact that, oh yeah, we're going to have a second season out of this because it's still plenty of books. Mostly put this episode does take bits and pieces probably from book 6. Doesn't adapt the entirety of the book per se. Mostly have segments from it. We first out in the village that Nafumi got in the last season of the show. And we do see Risha, who is basically someone who works with him. Now, it was just at the end of the last season, and they mention the book for some reason, Neil, who is in the episode, mind you, and yet he does not play a role in the episode at all. You see him like one scene, and that's it. In the book, he's in a good chunk of the book. For some reason, they cut a lot of his material out for some reason. I'm not really sure why. So, we see Risha training in a penguin suit. Yes, a penguin suit wearing with a Santa hat on it. Yes, this is something I should bring up here. The anime does not bring this up at all. In the book, she actually volunteered to wear this damn thing. In the episode, just randomly wears it. Yes, and of course she's training with a master, which they do introduce her in the book. And of course, the master's living in the village. And of course, village attacked by bat creatures. Yes, bat creatures. Then, of course, we have Raphtalia, who appears about partway through the episode. I'm wondering what the heck Raphtalia is. Yeah, and she and Philo take them all out. No problem. And, of course, and then immediately after this, Nafumi and his party, minus Neil for some reason, despite the fact he does play a role in the book, they are summoned to the capital to meet with the queen. Melty herself is briefly seen in the episode. Doesn't get any dialogue at all. She has dialogue in the book, but they probably didn't have that portion of the book here for this episode. So, basically, we have the other 3 heroes: the spear, the sword, and the bow hero. The spear hero doesn't really do much in this episode. The bow hero, well, they do cut some stuff out here, basically related to him and Nafumi from the book. Because the thing is, Risha was part of the bow hero's party, and she was kicked out. And the fact is, Nafumi was upset with Bow Hero for doing this, for kicking out a member of his party, for being weak. That was mainly the reason why. Also, he told Armor, "I'm not talking to Unalike. I want to talk to Isa," who they do bring up in the book that I was reading book 6. Took me a while to get to this one. That she'll join the party, but she's not going to talk. Don't talk anything bad about the Bow Hero. Like, okay, despite the fact he's not a very competent superhero. He's basically, Snake of the Shadows and basically trying to get paid for what he does. Yes. Of course, it's been poked fun of the series in universe that the Shield hero is the only one who actually bothers to do his damn job, while the other ones don't really do the job properly at all. They've basically just had the bow hero hide in the shadows and expect to get paid for stuff he did, or let's say the Spear hero, he's an idiot in love with a little girl. Sword Hero's a pretty decent guy, from what I can tell in the books. So, and of course, basically, well, the Queen tells us about the Spirit Taurus being active. You do briefly see the Spirit Taurus in the episode, very briefly, where it's active. And if you're curious about the Spirit Taurus himself, the creature itself is simply a giant turtle with a mountain on its back. And it's also described that the mountain itself is an official country. And this has caused natural disasters. And of course, the Queen requests the help from the heroes to defeat the Spirit Tortoise. The bow, spear, and sword hero stupidly turn it down. Nope, we have better stuff to do. Goodbye. We're going for the next wave. We're not going to deal with this stupid Spirit Tortoise thing. And that Fumi is the only one who bothers to take the damn job in the first place. So, we do see Phila driving her cart, which basically I'm glad they brought that back because that was sort of a plot point from the last season of the show, so okay, bring it back. But we do show off her little moves. This is a tornado move that she does at the start of the episode, take out the creatures. And then we see a brief reunion where she reaches to rejoin the party, but she's turned down because, she's weak. It was because we left the battlefield. Yeah, it's like they took some dialogue from that scene, but not exactly. Now, in case you're curious, though, what portion they adapt from, I would probably say from a couple different chapters mostly. Now, what happens next is a alteration from the book, which in the first season of the show, they did keep this line in. For some reason, this season, they decided to ignore it and basically do something else with it. Well, we had a return of the slave dealer. We have him brought back here. And it's Raphtalia who offers, basically, you should become a slave, Nafumi slave. In the book, and in the first season of the show, Nafumi was the one who brought this up. Why this change, I have no freaking idea. So, initially, he's doesn't really want to do this, and she just volunteers. And it goes through the same process, and this is the same exact process they used for Slut. Yes, she does appear in the episode. She's pretty much there just to remind people, hey, she was an idiot in the last season of the show. By the way, this Spirit Taurus stuff basically involves her leaving the Spear Hero. Yep, it does. I want my voice changed here. So, pretty much basically, right after, this little scene, after the slave stealing scene, then, of course, they decided to go on the thing and go find the Spirit Tortoise. So, they reach a checkpoint, and we have this guy telling a false rumor that the other three heroes were killed. By the way, prior to this particular meeting, we have 2 phone calls. Yes, little phone calls via telepathy because of Philo's cowlick. Yes, because she's the queen of these little beast birds thing. So, she talks to her about the Spirit Tortoise, then she calls her again and asks to verify if the heroes are dead. Nope, they're not dead. And it turns out the guy who actually is doing this is another hero. They don't identify him in the episode per se. This actually is Kiro, the book hero. And he is not a true hero because basically the guy is greedy and forced basically the book to basically try to do his own thing and telling lies. He first appeared in book 7. Why the heck they included him here? I have no idea. So, right after this, they're protecting people from more of these creatures that are familiars. This time, basically a bunch of freaking Yeti. And they battled him for quite a while. And of course, we have Mifune who uses the Raft Shield. Yes, the Raft Shield, as in the very same shield he used to take on the forces of the wave from the last season of the show. They was able to stand up perfectly fine, and Raphtalia always is worried whenever he uses this particular shield because this is an evil shield. It was one basically who was in a very deep, dark place. And beat the creature no problem, and then all of a sudden a mysterious woman shows up and asks, are you the shield hero? He's like, yes. Can you please kill me? And who is this woman, might ask? It's Osti, I think I'd say pronounce her name. Yes, they don't identify her in the episode, but that's who this woman is. She is the spirit turtle spirit, per se. She is a soul. That's simply put what the character is. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. Mm-hmm. Yep. It is definitely a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. It's something I personally enjoy. Mm-hmm. And I personally can't wait for the next episode. Now, if there's, I don't think the episode's terrible per se. I think the episode's structural. I'm glad they brought back the weapons dealer. They brought him back this episode because he's another thing that people saw in first season to bring it back, and he's in the actual book. So kudos. I couldn't really tell because I was trying to get this book as quickly as possible. I couldn't exactly tell where they started the adaptation process because normally I can find out no problem, but this is the second season of a show, and I couldn't exactly tell. Yeah, so next week's episode is called The Spirit Taurus's Footsteps. Interesting. Maybe we actually see the full appearance of this creature. It's possible to say the least. Yeah, the Spirit Taurus itself, it only physically appears in 2 books. It's mentioned several times since the events of this book happened. And this arc is very significant for Malti. Yes, I'll get to more of that in future videos. Okay, so that's it for particular review. Next is going to be Comic Corner, and that'll be pretty much it for tonight. Okay, thanks for you. Bye.